Secretary of the Treasury to make payments from. The Treasury Trust Fund receipt accounts, quote, unclaimed monies of individuals whose whereabouts are known. Let me simplify it for you.
Okay.
It's not even what you're thinking. Under any circumstance where you are really already planning to create your own derivatives, doesn't matter. And the requirement for you to create that derivative is one of those. So when they give you any given set of numbers, for instance, the Social Security number itself, that first three stands for the state it's issued from. The second two is the zones. The last four has its own. The derivatives of instruments, you can isolate the zones, and then that's just the Social Security number. With insurance policies, when they give you that long ass number, that means something. You can compartmentalize into something, and you can take part of that to create derivatives. So this is the first time I'm referring to when I say nonprofit organization. One is used by those who are in the public with their churches. It's 5768 that they use. The other is used generally speaking. It's called relocation of section 6417.
Which I have a business plan for, by the way. What would be the best route to initiate, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, what would be the best route to initiate the withdrawal of funds that are held in escrow? I don't know if that's clear. But yeah, that's the question, the first one.
Honestly speaking, the best route is usually through a postal system, because that's what's already embedded into the system as escrow. It's part of what I'm about to show you. And if you don't want to go through the postal banking system, then
yeah, I'm just I got my trademarks when the league is filed, so that's been a little victory for me lately.
Oh yeah, last meeting 2 months ago, you were asking about it. I think you had a whole list of details that Mohammed walked you through, and it sounds like that's really good that you got that trademark. Do you plan to get your I believe getting your trust constitution trademark is important too?
Yeah, I don't have a constitution yet, so
all right.
I would like to, but
I'll take a minute. Yeah, I only got the 508 constitution, which I've definitely implemented. Hey, what's
can everybody
up?
hear me? Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Let's just take care of some little business there. All right. Let me see. What do we have going here today? So, as usual, we're just gonna, well, first of all, hope everyone is doing excellent. So, as usual, we're just gonna go through the typical question and answer. If you have any question about anything, just go ahead and ask it. And we'll go step by step based on guys that I see raise their hands first in chronology. And then after that, we're gonna go, one second. And then after that, we're going to go through today's lesson. And in short, today's lesson, I was having a private conversation from someone that I had a conversation with yesterday regarding funds. And what I withheld from explaining in tier 3, I showed her in the call, but then I thought, you know what, might as well show everyone. So we're going to be going over that, which is in Title 31, particularly Subtitle 2, Chapter 13. And in short, it is exactly the uniformity of how whenever you get any type of funds that are, quote, unclaimed, that actual term, unclaimed money or unclaimed funds, or someone, quote unquote, unknown. I'm sure you guys have heard of the whole thing about being lost at sea. And at some point, you probably have heard that ties to some estate and how certain administration and its jurisdiction administer that estate, either no different than a farmer would till the land towards him or away. weigh minutes to your favor towards him, and then of course in their favor, as we all know too well of. I'll show you the origin of that, and the reason why I always tell people once you open that portal account, the reason why they have a certain time period and which one is the best time period. If you are doing it alone, if you're not doing it as a conglomerate, in short, it's just half a year. So I'll show you briefly the language of the legislature for that. I didn't have the time to pull up the public law, so we just used the statute 20, the Cornell USC version. Then after that, I had other conversations with other people in a one-on-one course right before this call. And we were entertaining the difference between, if you guys paid attention, I made a video on 501c3 versus 508. And I made it clear that there are 3 types. So far, I've only shown 2. One, similar to the religious affidavit that the good old Noble Drawley does, that those at more science simple trying to give an appearance like it's special and unique, whereby anyone can do it, because there's just a language of state legislature that stipulates how it's done. And 2 is the one created absent of that, which is the 508 constitutional bylaw that I show you. And then the 3rd is the private foundation. So the private foundation is what I go through in the course. And I was having the conversation with them, and we were going over the instruction that goes with it. And we were going over the differences between private operating foundation and a non-operating private foundation. So one second, let me admit something. All right. So we're going to be going over those generally for people in tier 4. But I realized, oh, well, people in tier 3 also coming, so they might benefit from this also. Even though I might not get the chance to go into great details, I'll just skim through it generally speaking. Because those who have yet to be in the course have been getting them emailing and asking certain differences because they see some stuff on the website and they're wondering. So this would be the general introduction to those things that gives a bit of clarity, to say, for those who I've yet to speak with in a one-on-one. That way you don't feel like you're being left behind. So I at least want to make sure the information it reaches as many people. I'm not going to put it on YouTube, of course, but if you are here, you're going to get some of that information. Of course, not in great detail. I'd say what you're going to get here regarding what we're going to speak of attached to the one-on-one is probably going to be maybe about 12% of this particular subject matter. So, because in the course, it's a particular lesson and a part, and sidebars to it, like 5 or 6 of them just for this. And those took about a total of 3 hours. So, of course, we can't spend that much here on one matter. So you can only imagine how much is going to be compartmentalized. So once we speak about that, I'll then go into what I'm referring to when I say whenever you want to embed your own clauses, which I'm still actively modifying mine now, because when I had my own infinite life insurance banking that I implemented into the universal life insurance, what I did was I actually signed it physically, and I got a physical copy and I scanned it. So it's not one of those time periods where they would send you an electronic copy and you would scribble something on a pixel screen. So I can't copy and paste. I literally had to print it out and then type it from scratch. So that's why it's taking a little bit long for me to put my policy out there for those who have ordered it and not received it. But the third thing we're also going to go over is something that I refer to when I say whenever you open your own life insurance, however it is, before you start implementing yours privately and create derivatives from it, this is what you're going to do. There's a term that you're going to tell them you want to see. And I'm going to go over that here. But before we do all that, let's just start with general questions. So if anyone has any questions before we go over those 3 things, then we can just get straight to it. Okay, 1 second. I saw Vicky, then Jason, then JC. So I'll go in that order. 1 second. Okay. Hey, Vicky, then Russell. Hey, Vicky, what's going on?
Hi there. Good evening. Just real quick, wanted to kind of get your thoughts regarding Form 8832. I was looking at the revised September 2002 form and thinking of submitting that. On that form number 5, I was going to put the foreign trustee name in there, as well as the foreign trustee's phone number. And then I was going to have my trust protector go in person to actually submit the form on behalf of the trust. Do you think that would probably pass the test or whatever? I mean, I'm hearing about other people having issues from yesterday's build.
Okay, well, first of all, the 2002 version is what I always suggest. That's the reason why I showed them in the video. Because of certain experiences when I tell people I have certain experiences, it sounds smooth. There's a method to the madness of it. And sometimes there are some negligible things that's easy to dismiss, such as the year of the form. But I know the reason why I tell people to do it, and I show people in videos that use this year form. So if you're using 2002, that's good. That's a thumbs up. So let me pull that form up real quick. Okay, so 5, name and title of the person who hires. And you said you were going to use your trust protector's name here on line 5?
On line 5, I was going to put the foreign trustee's name as well as his foreign phone number. And then I was going to have the trust protector go in. I have an appointment at the end of this month. So I have the trust protector go in there and, submit it on behalf of the trust.
That's the perfect way to do it, yes. And the fact that you have the foreign phone number there, even from the fact that it's a trust matter.
Okay. We'll see what happens. Thank you.
It's not a matter of you see what happens. Just get it done. You got it.
Okay. All right. Will do.
The next name that I saw was Jason.
What's going on, Mohammed?
Hey, Jay.
Evening. We were just talking about this earlier. Woke up this morning. Got a call from my midwives, and they said that the Florida Department of Health had filed a birth certificate for my son.
Okay.
The midwives they're awesome. They're like, they have access to the state portal, and they're letting me know all this is happening. Because they support what we're trying to do. And I wanted to make sure that my position hasn't changed. I've been preparing an injunction and everything, and whether or not it would be an issue to before the rest of that, I just wanted to know if my position has changed or anything when it comes to that.
No, it has not. But the question that I would ask you is, have you filed the stuff that I told you to?
Yes. So I filed that all last week. So beat them to the punch, I guess, when it comes to all that. All that. Yeah. Got all that done, finished up, and it's ready to go. When it comes to providing them, like I plan to send them an injunction and everything, and it'll have the non-UCCs associated with it along with the exhibits. The problem I'm concerned with is that they have that incomplete birth record that they filed that they can still use. And due to the nature of their conduct, that they will just assume authority over the documents I have and just fill it in. Since it'll include my private birth record and all that stuff. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Am I concerned?
Are you speaking about at your own spot now, not relating to your child?
No, it's relating to the child. So if I send in like an injunction and say, hey, look, we got a claim to this is our property, right? I've raised issues like trade secrets and religious compelled associations and things like that. And included with the non-UCC is the birth record.
And because their birth record isn't complete, I'm concerned they will use that information. If there's a way around it, or if there's, what should I be worried about that?
One thing I was going to tell you is don't sell them. Remember, non-UCC, no one knows about it unless you give them the file number.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's smart to give them the file number.
Yeah. Okay.
So don't even show the non-UCC. Just assert the fact that you have interest laying on it. Leave that be.
I thought I had to prove it.
No, not yet. Remember, you're doing an injunction.
Yeah.
So that injunction is just going to say the interest of something that exists somewhere.
Okay.
And the amount of liability attached to it. So you won't be putting the actual copy of it or give them the reference of it. The only time you show anyone the reference of that is if you want to till the soil to your part of the woods, if you want to benefit from it.
Okay. I see. Got it. That makes sense.
The injunction that you are doing, just leave that notice there and nothing more. Just give them that notice. But that notice of injunction, make sure that it is embedded as part of trust minute of that same trust that you put that child's private birth record in. As
a trust minute. Okay.
So the heading of it, instead of it just being a regular notice of so-and-so estoppel, it should say trust minute, so-and-so, and then the title of the document.
Okay. Okay, good. I can keep moving forward. And is it prudent then to establish, we talked about the mark of the beast, to create a separate prohibitory trust minute, prohibiting all trust members to associate with things of that nature?
Sure, you can.
Is that
it's not excessive.
It's not excessive. Okay. I appreciate that. That is that was really it was really stressful this morning, so I appreciate that. When it comes to I had asked you this, I think a while back, when it comes to have you heard of certain processes, and I'm not asking you to fix this is something I learned from somebody else. When it comes to the revocation of election, have you heard of that before? When it comes to the IRS?
Yes, I've heard of it before.
Okay. First off, is it viable? Is it a real thing?
What are you trying to use it with? Because
I'm not trying to use a revocation of election. I'm saying I sent in some forms along with a form 56 to do what I thought was a revocation of election, and saying, hey, I revoke any type of consent an election to be taxed as a taxpayer in the past. And I'm just saying that's the only at least with the IRS, it's the only process I tried to do in the past.
Okay, and this is not related to any business or anything. Any
not
entity.
The ens legis. That's it.
Did you do it? There are different types of revocation of election.
Okay.
Did you do it per section 5768 or 60? I believe it's 6417.
If
you can recall.
Yeah, let me just bring it up real quick just so you can. So, what did you ask for? Say that. Can you repeat that? Per what?
There are two types. Did you do the one per 6417, which is 26 USC 6417, or did you do it per 5768? The 5768 is for those who have some type of nonprofit entity or any type of 501c3, and the other one is just for others who are either doing business as a sole corp or whatever else. So did you do it as the other one? What's the name of the form? Or did you?
It says
notice?
Yeah, it says revocation of election to be treated as a U.S. resident for purposes of determining income liability, tax income liability.
So you created your own notice.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 6417 then. When you did that, you said you did the form 56 with it?
Yes.
Okay, Okay, well, all right. When you do a revocation of election, you're not supposed to provide any notice of this your relationship.
Oh,
And if
okay.
you do, the reason why I say you're not supposed to is because all you're doing with Form 56 is putting IRS a notice of someone else who's going to be acting as a proxy for you. So if you're saying, hey, I'm revoking any tax liability, that means I'm doing so because I already have a trust. So did you have a trust when you did that?
No. So what I did, I have this Form 56. In the first part, I put my ens legis, and I put the social security number under decedent's social security number. The fiduciary's name was just lower cap's name. With that, at that time, I was really into the that quantum language, so it was my name written with the colons and the hyphens in it.
Okay, let me share my screen for a moment so you see.
Okay. Okay.
I think he dropped off.
Oh no! He's tried to share it.
Okay, 1 second. I lost connection for a moment. So.
He disconnected again. He sure did. He keeps trying to. Oh man. Maybe the IRS is trying to shut him down. They caught wind of the meeting.
They took him out.
I'm curious, has anybody else heard of this revocation or election and tried to do it? I learned it from. Yeah, I know. Thank God.
Okay. Excuse me for a moment there.
You're good, man.
Moment.
Oh, no. Hello. Oh.
All right.
Hello.
Let me share right here.
We thought the IRS got you.
Yeah. All right.
No, you thought the IRS got him.
No, we were all
Don't say
discussing it. Don't you remember?
So go ahead and say what you were saying about the relocation of election.
You were trying to show me. Oh, you were asking me if I did it for a trust, and I was clarifying what was on the form 56. Under it, there's authority, and I clicked other, and I said agent for the trust known as the ens legis name, which is the all caps name at the time. So basically, I put it as low caps name, agent, an unenumerated human being protected by the Constitution as agent for the ens legis. That's
All right.
in addition, of course, to along it accompanied the that notice that I made that I was unaware of which section of the. You said it was 5768, right?
No, it's two different types.
Okay.
So this is the first time I'm referring to when I say nonprofit or an organization. One is used by those who are in the public with their churches. It's 5768 that they use. The other is used generally speaking. It's called relocation of section 6417. Electing taxpayers must, during the subsequent year of election period, revoke the elective payment election for an applicable credit property described in regulation, blah, blah, blah. It tells them what you have to do, the name of the credit, the facility of what you're trying to relate to, the first tax year, issue of the blah, 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 and it's per 26 USC 6417.
Oh, that doesn't sound like anything close to what I did then. At all. So
now, this is likely what whoever that told you to do that, this is likely what they basically saw. And you try to make it to not be form bound. Now, of course, when it comes to IRS, there are two formats in which you can do things. One is always form bound, the other is not form bound. Stuff that are not form bound are usually private. Those that are form bound can be quasi-private or can be used as an exit or an entry into either side. Or it can just be generally construed as just strictly not being private. If the one who told you to do the revocation of election did not embed the concept with trust and went as far as to do that in the Form 56, the least I can tell you is you were misled. Without being doom and going with it.
okay. I wanted to know if it could have had some effect because the next I haven't filed anything with the IRS since then. So the next thing I'm about to send to the IRS will be the 8832. And so because of that, I just need to know kind of what garbage I've got and what to be aware of.
How long ago was that when you filed this notice with the IRS?
April 2nd, 2024, last year.
And did you provide them any social security number or any identifying factors?
Yes. My social.
I'll be real with you. That will hinder other things you're trying to do.
Okay.
So what I would tell you to do to prevent that, See, this is the small things people do in the past that when they try to now do some things, it just doesn't work.
Hey, I'm inviting you to come join the patron page. Not only do you get access to documents, posts, and videos that you will never find on any other platforms, you also get instant access to webinars that otherwise will cost far more. And
Which is why I always ring the bell on just doing things right. But if you've done it, nonetheless, it's happened. The solution to that is this. To notice a withdrawal. Just like you can do a notice of withdrawal in court cases, you can do it with any type of administration.
Okay.
What you would do is you chronologically find the dates that they received, not the date that you tagged that document, but the date that you said, the date that they received if you tracked it. If you then track it, then put a parameter about date. You put the date that they received it, the exact title of the document, and you put something along the lines that the below listed documents hereto is hereto withdrawn according to the obligations of contract, comma, non-disclosure, comma, and lack of consent. But the lack of consent would be your expression that it actually was not you. If you did it in any type of name where they put dash and colon, the IRS doesn't necessarily consider that as a different name because they are hip to the fact that there are many people who do that. The fact that you submitted something else and you probably used a common address in the past that they know of, but the lack of consent on your end would be the fact that you would just straight up say that you don't know who did it, but you just found out that it was done. And you therefore withdraw anything within any master file. So the title of the document would be Notice of Withdrawal in Master File. Don't make it individual, don't make it non-master, don't make it business master file, just put master file. Did you notarize that other documents that you did with the revocation?
Yes.
Whatever that was?
Yes.
Which state did you use as the notary?
Florida.
If I were you, I'll use a different state's notary.
Okay.
Did you put your authentication or some type of signature or autograph on it?
Did I put some sort of signature?
You just sign it. Yes.
Yeah, I signed it.
Is it the same signature that you used in other documents that IRS received before then?
Nope. It's a completely different signature.
Okay.
It's
whatever signature you use now should be different from that.
okay.
If I were you, I'll create a separate PO box and use it as a return address for that, because you will get a response. I've had 2 people do this before. 2 people willing to. Because a lot of people, when they do stuff like this, they're usually very ashamed, or maybe they just don't want to talk about it because they hope it's going to go away, but it's not. It's one of those stuff that I refer to when I say it's going to come back 13, 14 years from now, because these people have a database, they have a system. And I don't think many people realize how efficient they are. So you must always revoke these things. Both of them received a letter that basically states, in short, all right, we got you. One of them later received a notice after that, all right, we got you notice saying, hey, we don't know about frivolous filing. The other never heard anything about that. What I told the one who got the BS when it comes to the frivolous filing is to just leave it be and say nothing and just get as a fair and order. And I'm telling you the same thing.
Okay. No, I'm not ashamed at all. I want to own up to my mistakes. I realize, I'm really glad to ask you this.
Just do a notice of withdrawal regarding master file. That's the name of the document.
And I don't need to send this as a trust on behalf of a trust, just me. Just nothing crazy, not in any special capacity, anything like that.
You do that as lead as detail.
Is there a specific person or facility? There's a few different facilities. IRS
Whichever
facility.
one is closest to you.
Okay. When I sent this, I sent it to the one in Austin, Texas, and I sent it to the IRS commissioner in Washington, D.C.
Damn. Okay. Well, okay. Now, since you sent it to notices that go to the commissioner are different. Notices that go to the commissioner of the IRS are usually escalated stuff. So I'm not even sure why you were told to send it to an escalated venue. Because the commissioner is the one that looks over their internal suits and stuff like that when they do their own administrative stuff and all that crap. In that case, send it to the nearest location and send it to the commissioner too. Now, I've not had any experience doing a notice of withdrawal to the commissioner because I never had that experience. The people that I did this for, they didn't send it to the commissioner. They did the common law name change and the passport, and then they did a verification of election with it. They sent it to the nearest IRS. They didn't send it to the commissioner. So in your case, send it to both. Whenever you sent the prior one to, send it there. And we'll see what happened with yours.
All right. I'm getting a little scared now, but I'll still own up to it.
No, there's nothing to be afraid of. Remember the emphasis that I said earlier was get your affairs in order now. Like I told them, so I'm telling you, because if any type of apprehension of yours happen to be true in the near future, then you getting your stuff together is what's going to bar them. For instance, in the course, I show people how to put a lien on their bank account. You should probably do that too.
Okay. All right, then. I can ask you that. I want to get a future consult with you about that then. When it comes
we'll just
to
take one more question from me.
This will be the last one. Yeah. Going back to the issue with that birth certificate, if it draws on longer than expected, do I need to be worried about any potential issues with obtaining a passport for my child? My concern is that incomplete file being linked whenever I try to find a no records certificate. I don't know how thorough they are when it comes to that.
So when it comes to this drawing out, they're not. It's not going to draw out. They've created the instrument they wanted to create. They really don't care about anything else. You're the one who cares about it. So when it comes to being able to get instruments, that shouldn't hinder you.
I don't think you understood my question, unless I'm misunderstanding your answer. Whenever I want to get a no records, which will be the goal in order to bring it to the passport agency, I'm concerned that it will be linked. That file will be linked in a worst case scenario where I'm unsuccessful.
That's what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing. In their case, they usually put baby. If they know your last name or your wife's last name, they'll put that. Otherwise, they'll put baby Doe.
Okay.
If they've issued that in that name, and you don't basically tip your hand by sending them a copy of the non-UCC and everything, then it doesn't matter. Because the name of the child and the lack of having certain birth records in the form that the Department of State and the federal level requires you to fill out will be just that. And even if there's any assumption, it's not going to be linked to you or the child, because they won't put the child's name. The county will not put the child's name.
Yeah,
on the birth
it'll have the last name. I just wanted to make sure that they don't do extra to try and link it. Right? Look, so far they've gone extra links. Okay, good. They've got because I'm gonna have to give him his first name and last name and the time of death. I've never gotten a record of no birth, but I just understand that I believe I have to maybe even have to fill out a form. That's what I mean. Does that clarify where my concerns coming from?
In that case, you'll tell them you get to name the child. If you fill out the no records and they ask you for the name of the child that you're trying to get the no records for, you tell them you get to name the child. And according to your religious instruction, I believe you have to wait a certain amount months or years.
All right, so the passport won't have any problems with that when they see it's just a last name on there.
If you don't give them anything.
Okay, let me repeat that just to make sure I understood. The vital statistics, as long as I don't give them anything, they're going to be able to make a no records request, and they're not going to be able to link it, again, like you said, because I don't give them anything. When it comes to the passport, so long as they understand that you didn't name them, I named the child after I got that no records, then it's fine.
Yes. And of course, when you try to get the evidence of no record of the child, you'd have to put a reason why you get to name it, because their forms are limited. So you have to attach a religious affidavit to it, which is what would explain the reason why you get to name the child. And you put whatever they have in their record. So if they've already created a birth certificate for the child on the county level, exactly what they have in there, you put it in the form.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that last part. I didn't understand the words.
Just don't put anything related to what you know your child will be into that form.
Okay. The thing that's concerning is that because if I don't have the name, then I'm basically providing the same information that they have because there's no first name. And you're saying they still wouldn't be able to link it? Is that right?
Yes, because you haven't given them anything.
Well, I'm going to give them the same information that they have. That's what I'm saying. So let's say if it's baby Doe, right? And I say, hey, can you look up last name Doe? Right? It doesn't have a name.
Well, how about this? How about you just say you haven't named the child at all? You put an affidavit to it. You just say you see attached affidavit.
I'm talking about for the vital statistics office and linking it and finding a certificate.
That is what I'm saying. You're not going to give them anything. So there's a scenario here whereby you're trying to get evidence of lack of record of the child, right?
Yes.
And there's a form they'll have you fill out for that.
Yes. I haven't done it before, but I'm sure I'm going to fill out a form. Pretty sure.
When they have that form, they'll ask you for the name of the child that you want to get that affirmation or attestation related to.
Mm-hmm.
When they ask you for the name of the child, you put NA, see attached affidavit.
Okay.
In that affidavit, you will tell them that you get to name the baby according to your religious instruction and beliefs.
Okay. And what I mean to say is, say in this scenario, I have baby Doe, right? Baby being no name. On their end, they also have baby Doe. So when I'm providing the same credentials is what I'm saying. And you're saying they're not going to link that?
With what?
If I give baby Doe date of birth, the exact same information, and I give them the location along with other, those are the general things I'll ask for. That's what they already have. They don't have a first name. I'm not giving them a first name. They do have a last name, and I'm going to give them a last name. They have the date of birth. I'm going to give them the same date of birth and the location they have, and I'm going to give them the same location. That's what I'm asking. They're not going to, that's not going to be linked.
What is being linked if you're not giving them anything new that they don't already know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they're going to use that. They're going to say there's a record then. That's what I mean. If I'm going to try to get a no record, they're going to say there is a record because the information matches.
Just put NA as a name of the child. And now if you were to fast forward to say you want to get a passport for the child, the address you're using for the child would be different from the one of the child's birth record. And if you are to use, for the Department of State, I believe there's a list of documents you can have as evidence of the child's birth. The private birth record is accepted by them. They call it a file in the Bible.
I think I'm understanding. You said they say they don't have any name. You're saying no name at all. I'm thinking when you say no name, I'm thinking just first name. But you're saying first and last, just no name ever at all.
NA.
That's what
see attached.
Oh my god. I didn't even consider that approach.
I said it like 3 times.
I know. I'm thinking just first name. I was being too myopic. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag this out too long. That's what I needed. As you already know, you have to repeat things so people understand. So thank you. That's it. Thank you so much.
Let me see. I think I saw other hands. I think I saw JC, or maybe it was only Russell. JC, do you have any questions?
Yeah, peace. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great.
The first question is, in the context of insurance and the minor account, which I believe we spoke about maybe 2 to 3 months ago, and for the purposes of like accessing funding for purposes of greenhouse development, which I have a business plan for, by the way, what would be the best route to initiate? I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. What would be the best route to initiate the withdrawal of funds that are held in escrow? I don't know if that's clear. But yeah, that's the question, the first one.
Honestly speaking, the best route is usually through the postal system, because that's what's already embedded into the system as escrow. It's part of what I'm about to show you. And if you don't want to go through the postal banking system, then the second option costs a lot of money. So I won't go there. The third one I would say is to use the foundation that I'm showing people, because that doesn't cost much. The second option is you can open your own vault. So postal system vault, or use a foundation bank account that you've already made. Because see, getting the money is when it comes to making money, a lot of people just make it difficult. It's not. Keeping it is what's hard. Other people wanted to take it from you is what's hard. It's like wearing something real cool, say in an impoverished area in the hood, like a new Jordan. So it's like wearing some new apparel somewhere that people are not used to seeing it, or people need it, and then people just want to take it. The key is for you to protect it. Getting the liquidation is not the issue in the escrow. Keeping it is the issue, at least from what I've experienced. So liquidation is easier than keeping it. I'm sure you've probably heard when people say making money is not the hard part, keeping it is. They're right. Somebody's echoing real bad.
Hey, I'm inviting you to come join the patron page. Not only do you get access to documents, posts, and videos that you will never find on any other platform.
Digging into your account and that birth certificate, this is the regulation that governs it. This is what I was going over earlier before I came into this meeting. So if I came in about a little bit scatterbrained, it's because I had a lot of stuff going on with other people. And plus there are more people here. But I still have to do this nonetheless because I were posted and people are here waiting. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well show up since we're in it. B, except as provided in subsection C of this section. Necessary amounts are appropriated to Secretary of Treasury to make payments from. This exception is just, we're just going to make it sound good that, we're sharing the money, but that's a bunch of bullshit. Necessary amounts are appropriation, as you should know in the case audit video. This term is always going to keep coming up. As I've said, we went into what this word means in the case audit, I think part 1 and part 2 video, as to what appropriation means. It just means slush fund. To the Secretary of the Treasury to make payments from. The Treasury Trust Fund receipt accounts, quote, unclaimed monies of individuals whose whereabouts are unknown. I'm not making this shit up. I didn't create a chart and put it on some social media and then put some image of someone over there so it could look. This is the stuff they are putting down that they use as regulation to take your shit. You, that creature of law, is this quote unquote unclaimed money of individuals whose whereabouts are unknown, which many people speculate on about when it comes to the whole lawsuit, your estate, all the other stuff. I'm sure some of you already know, so we don't have to go over that. They're letting you know each year at a certain time, a certain position does something by putting that monies into another bank called a treasury. But after they have put it first into the markets and they take receipts of that to affirm that into a trust fund or an escrow and say, hey, this belongs to someone else. And we're able to use it because they've yet to claim it. And there are other types of trust that it can apply to. And anything else after that, when it comes to the use of it, however you want to use it in your budget and the legislature to build quote unquote roads to make, everything much better in the world because, we're spending the taxpayers' money. Yeah, all that is still classified under unclaimed monies of fund whose whereabouts are unknown. Lost at sea. I hope you are gradually, chronologically following what's going on here. But more importantly, I hope you are gradually, chronologically comprehending it. Don't just follow. Follow the pace of it and comprehend it. If you have a state of mind of a follower with this, all these would just go by the wayside. At best, it would just be entertaining. But I'm doing my part by showing it to you. Because I know the people that I know that know these things, if a meteorite hitting the earth was to occur now, and the only thing that will save all of humanity from that meteorite making us all extinct, like they say happened with the dinosaur, if what will prevent it from happening will be them revealing this information, they would rather have them and everyone die than reveal this. That's how adamant people are with this information. It's no surprise that if you go out there now, all you hear is just buzzwords and some other mixed stuff. They take the semblance and they just create some other new bullshit. And they bring people on over and over and get people into predicting policing lists. And then create things that will come back and screw people up and bite them in the ass in the future. I'm telling you, to hell with all that. In my mind, I already know what I went through. So I know how difficult it is. But nonetheless, how much of a no-brainer and how easy it is once you get it. So I know that only about 2 out of maybe 50 people hearing this will really get to it. But nonetheless, my conscience, my conscience would not let me sit still without showing you this. Because I know many people have been loosely introduced to it. The least I can do is to say, look, all that stuff you've heard, it sounds good. It gives you a piece of candy without letting you know. You're going to have to know how to create coloring, how to manufacture the candy, how to create the mold to put the candy in. And most importantly, this is what the candy really looks like. I'll just show it to you. Whatever else you want to do is up to you. Subsequent claims to the transfer funds shall be paid for the account. Not kept in an escrow, but paid from the account. Quote, unclaimed monies of individuals who are about or no. Forget all this exceptions. It doesn't apply. They're just making this sound good. Necessary amounts are appropriated to the Secretary of Treasury to make payments from. In other words, it's letting you know the only essence and entity and department that will receive these funds is if your trust has a Secretary of Treasury. You see the reason why that trust for the Treasury was created? Sometimes when I tell people, okay, this is what you need, this is what you need, they might think, oh, this is so much. To you, it sounds like it's a lot. But your body as it functions, for you to move your head, do you know how much electrical signal had to go from one part of your body to the other? How much of a layer of fascia, muscle, tendon, bone it had to go through for you to do that? And you're doing it every day without thinking about it. You don't hear your body saying it's too much. There's so much going on in your body right now that's countless, but you just casually going on every day and you're putting more dead stuff in it. This synonymous portion of putting dead stuff in your body, yet your body processing it, same thing as information that people consume. All I'm saying is no matter how much it is, just consume the right information. If you're going to put derivatives of light, water and earth in your body, just make sure it's the best that you can consume to sustain life. That's all I'm saying. And it's telling you here that you need the Secretary of, when I created these trust minutes, these are the things that I read years ago that got me to create these documents from scratch that I'm now showing people and putting on the website. The Secretary of Treasury is the one that receives the money.
Hey, I'm inviting you to come join the patron page. Not only do you get access to documents, posts, and videos that you will never find on any other platforms, you also get instant access to webinars that otherwise will cost far more. And we speak of things that usually we would not be able to speak of on any other platforms far more freely. On top of that, you get the opportunity to send me monthly questions along with everyone else's questions, so you can see other people going through similar circumstances. You never know what you think might be a stupid question. It's quite often very valid. On top of that, you get access to monthly question and answer archives from several years back from people who have gone through it and people who are going through it. Get information regarding things you experience daily that you didn't even know you could take advantage of when it comes to business, work, or other personal things. There's a community of people where you can bounce information off of, and they can give you some tips and tricks based on what they're currently going through in their respective venues that you might maybe want to link up with. And there's a high likelihood you're not going to find them anywhere else. And you also get the access to directly send me messages. Oh, and also if you are a tier 4 member, you get access to yet another monthly meeting where we actually answer as much questions as we can, anywhere between an hour and a half, in some cases up to 4 hours. In addition to that, we also show some exclusive lessons that are not going to be posted on Patreon or anywhere else but the tier 4 meeting alone. So come forth, come join the 500 plus people already on Patreon. And in some cases, we even give certain things out. And while you're at it, you might want to check out the store, subtlesubstanceservices.com. There might be a few things you want to pick up in there.